What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another post game here on Mets Central. And the Mets drop the finale of the series versus the Atlanta Braves, and they complete their road trip going 3-3 against the Braves and the Nationals. Like the title says, that is inexcusable and it's pathetic. You should not be losing this many games to these level of teams. And I really do not care about, oh, well, the offense showed up a little bit in some of these games. I don't care about, oh, well, the starting pitching gave volume in some of these games. It is a problem that it is still resulting in losses, which, like I've said, like my co host Matt has said, those are symptoms of being a mediocre or bad baseball team where you're finding ways to lose. And today was just another example of this team finding a way to lose because you have Carlos Mendoza not pulling the plug on Peterson when he should have, Brett Beatty not turning a double play before that, which he probably should have done that as well. You have Carlos Mendoza going with the alignment of putting Cedric Mullins out in center field, putting Taylor in left field, which was also very ridiculous. And we've been talking about how that's not a good decision. And then look at what happened today. It's just poetic. Profar right to center field, where Mullins not only doesn't even dive for the ball there, but fumbles it, just jogs out towards it. And then the biggest story of it all, though, this offense not hitting against Bryce Elder, which is inexcusable. And I said going into this game, you have to sweep because if you can't figure out Bryce Elder, who you just face, that's a problem. And sure enough, they didn't at all. And he gave them so much trouble once again. This team had 3 hits until the ninth inning, by the way. Half their hits came in the ninth inning. And that's just, again, not good enough. It's just not good enough when you're getting half your hits in the ninth inning. And again, you're not even winning the game because, like all year, and now I think it's 0 57 or 0 53. I don't remember the exact number Gary said on the broadcast for games that they have lost when trailing going into the ninth inning, but they have no wins. They have no comeback wins still in the ninth inning. So you knew this game was over when Gregory Soto, which by the way, him too, I didn't even get to that, where he's hitting batters when he's up in the count. It's just like, what are you doing? So you're not only do your hitters not have a two strike approach, neither do your pitchers, because I don't understand how you're hitting a batter when you're up in the count. Just really pathetic. Before we jump into everything, if you're watching on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we upload or go live here on the channel. Of course, tomorrow there will be a podcast episode to break down this entire series with my co-host, and we will go in depth with these games a little bit further, even though we'll go in depth today because just so sloppy today. Where do we begin? Because I already tackled like the big moments here throughout the game. How about the fact too that Pete Alonso did nothing today at all? That first at bat was so bad. And then you know what? Here's another decision from Carlos Mendoza that I questioned, which didn't end up mattering by the end. But Mark Vientos hits a home run, and he's been on fire right now. Arguably their second best hitter, or even their best hitter outside of Francisco Lindor in this recent stretch. He hits a 2-run home run in the second inning. And then later in the game, why are we taking him out to pinch run when it's still a close game and you might need to have him hit later on? Why are we taking him out there? I get that you wanted to get aggressive and try to get a run there with Taylor on the base paths, but I didn't like that decision because Mark Vientos has been one of their better hitters. What if there was a spot where his part of the order or where he's hitting in the lineup came up again and you needed a big at bat there, which could have happened in the top of the ninth? Could have happened. Brett Beatty getting robbed in center field. And that's the other thing. Like, I don't want to hear, because I'm seeing people say it on Twitter. I don't want to hear that, oh, well, there was no chance on that ball in center field that was hit by Profar at the end. I watched Michael Harris run across the entire baseball field to go rob Brett Beatty out in right field. You're telling me that if Tyrone Taylor's not out there in center field for that Profar at bat, that he's not at the very least diving and coming close to catching the ball, where you have Mullins not even making an effort to dive out for that ball. But again, I don't want to sit here and just say that, because Gregory Soto definitely failed. Because like I said, you cannot be hitting a batter. You can't be walking Sean Murphy on 4 pitches too. That's another thing. And he also fell behind Nacho Alvarez 3-0 in the previous at bat, ended up striking him out, and then he starts to nibble the zone again. And it sucks, because in this 9th inning, it felt like maybe the Mets were actually going to come back for once. Iglesias hasn't been great this year. Mullins, Lindor, Soto string a couple of hits. 4-3, 1 out. Silly me, though. Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil popping out. And then another question I had during the game, managerial-wise, which didn't matter, but why was Prospan in the face Acuna? He's first getting called back up, and you're just like, throw him into the fire. Face Acuna. I don't want to sit here and say that it's only on Mendoza this game. A lot of it is. Don't get me wrong. A lot of things I didn't like that he did, but this offense, once again, did not hit off of Bryce Elder, which they should be doing. And how about Ronnie Mauricio, too? Oh, my God, the at-bats Ronnie Mauricio took today. Just dog shit. Dog shit at-bats. I mean, he's swinging stuff at his hands that would hit him if he just watched the pitch go by. Just dog shit at-bats. It's not good enough at all. I like Mendoza, but this game is on him. Talk about piss poor managing. Leaves Peterson in way too long and does the same with Soto. Should have swept. 1,000,000% agree on both of those things. And especially the Peterson thing, because I saw people saying, oh, how are you blaming Mendoza when he's not getting out guys at the bottom of the order? Be aware of your starting pitcher. The velo started to go down. And it's like, what is Jeremy Hefner telling these pitchers that all of a sudden Peterson looked worse after the mound visit? And I said it right when the bases were loaded. I'm like, they're going to wait till the damage is done to pull him, aren't they? And sure enough, they did. I don't understand why. I really just do not understand at all why. And then, yeah, the whole thing with Mullins in center field instead of Taylor, I can't understand it. Because Mullins isn't as comfortable playing the corners, I don't care when Tyrone Taylor is your best defensive center fielder and is a elite defensive center fielder. I do not care. I want him out there in center. And if Mullins is going to be that much of a problem that he can't play the corners, then sit. I have no problem sitting him. He's been garbage anyway. I don't care about his hit in the 9th inning. I really don't. And yeah, you have to find a way to win these type of games. And that's really the bottom line. If you are truly a contender, you have to win this type of game. And they failed. And I sat here yesterday and I tried to say, you know what? You salvaged the road trip a little bit by going 4-2. It's not what you want. Like I wanted 5-1 at the bare minimum. 4-2, I guess I would have accepted at this rate. Nope. Mauricio got to get off the team, and Mullins has to do whatever he can to make a catch. Got to get dirty on that play. Yeah, 100% Turbo. I just this is why Ronnie Mauricio has not got at bats at all over the past weeks. This is exactly why. He just is lost at the plate. And sure, he could hit off of right-handed pitchers every now and then, but he has not been good enough. And once again, he's another case of why is it that guys are thriving in the minor leagues and in the major leagues, they're not doing as well? Huh. I wonder what the correlation is there that we've talked about all season long. It's been, yeah, like at most one good series from him. There's no way in hell his team is going to survive any playoff series if they even make it. They take one step forward and take a million steps back. I'm done with these guys. And that's why it's hard to get roped back in with them. And this Philly series, I don't know how I feel. I guess I don't know. I guess I'll kind of get more of my thoughts tomorrow when I am actually a little bit more relaxed and not pissed off from this. But like, even if they sweep the Phillies by some miracle, how much are we moved? That's the question. How much are we moved? You gotta win these games. This is a game we probably could have won 2-0. Sometimes you have to win low scoring games. And that's true too. But this bullpen lately has not been great either. And I'm not gonna kill Gregory Soto because he's been the best of the deadline ads lately, but I'm also very annoyed that you needed a scoreless outing here from him today, and he just didn't get it. But again, it doesn't matter when the offense doesn't show up either way, too. The offense does have to show up more against Bryce Elder. I get what you're saying, but this is not a good pitcher they're going against. Said this before the road trip. I would have taken 4-2. I am more annoyed of losing the National Series than not being able to sweep the Braves. To me, you had to sweep the Braves. I can't accept not sweeping this team. They look dead the past two games, and Bryce Elder stinks. And you had David Peterson on the mound today. Like, this should have been a lock to win, and they failed. Yeah, I'll be at Tuesday's game as well, Turbo. So let's freaking hope. Let's hope that they could pull this out of their freaking ass. I mean, they got to win this series coming up. Otherwise, if they don't win this series coming up against the Phillies, then the division's definitely not even a conversation at that point. Not that I'm even like, I don't think they have a chance at the division at all. And I could be very wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But if they lose the series, I mean, it's definitely just out of the picture. Mauricio check swing strikes were so embarrassing. Ronnie swing and a miss. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind if they really wanted to just send him down at this point until September call ups. It's not going to happen. I don't think it would be the worst thing though to do it and try to get him heated up a little bit rolling into September. And maybe just call Cunha up for a bit. That could be an option because at least Acuna is going to give you some good defense, give you some speed. Not that I'm a big Acuna fan at all, but if you're not going to play Ronnie Mauricio every day and he looks lost at the plate, why not just, to me, why not just send him down for a little bit and try to get him to right the ship a little bit like they did with Alvarez? And we saw how it worked until, of course, he got injured. Would have been nice to have Alvarez in the lineup. No killer instinct. They beat themselves. Both things are very true. Both are very, very true. And the lack of killer instinct thing really is what concerns me the most of this because last year, just every single time, there was this belief that they were going to find a way to win the game. And we saw it to end last year, which they showed the highlight over and over again because they're in Atlanta of Lindor hitting the home run last year. That was the difference between last year and this year's team. I do not care about the win-loss record early on in the year. I don't care about anything. I don't care about them having more talent this year. Last year's team, they were kicking teams right in the deck. This team, this year, I should say, they're the ones getting kicked in the dick and urinating all over themselves at the same time. If that even makes sense. Or I guess the kick in the dick is just so strong that they're bleeding. I don't know. Could have put Marte in left and moved Taylor to center field. I don't mind them not going with Marte out in left because at the end of the day, you don't want to injure him playing the field too much if you don't have to. But Taylor should have been in center field regardless. Mullins has to suck it up and play the corner a bit. I'm sorry, but that has to change and that has to happen. And I'm pretty sure he's played a good amount of innings in the corners before in his career. I'm going to try to find the numbers if I can, but I thought he's played the corners a bit. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Let's see if I could find it. He has played, here it is. Is way less experience in the corners than I thought. I'm not going to lie to you. He's got 5 games out in left field, 4 in right field. Is that enough to even determine if he's good or not in the corners? Like, you can at least try it. I don't get it. And I guess what you're saying is true though. I mean, if Mullins really does not want to play the corners and it's that much of an issue, then you're gonna have to start putting Marte out in the corners and then put Taylor in center field. Because again, I'm sorry, I want Tyrone Taylor out in center field for defensive purposes late in games. Yeah, which we'll talk more about Mendoza tomorrow on the podcast because once again, I'm looking at another series where I'm just not thrilled with him. And again, I get that the manager only does so much, but there are just things where it's like you got to put your players in the best positions to succeed. And I get that, it's up to the players to execute at times and sometimes they have to overcome uncomfortable situations. I get that, but like the David Peterson thing today is what really annoyed me the most. Like he's clearly gassed out on the mound out there and you leave him in with the bases loaded. That to me was really the biggest issue. I don't think Pete's hurt. Maybe he got a little banged up on the play, and that's why they had him DH. But I don't know if it's that significant. I guess we'll see tomorrow if he's DHing again. But I don't know how significant that is there. But that is a point that for why he could have DH today. But either way, I'm gonna wrap things up here. Thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Podcast episode tomorrow. Be on the lookout. Uh, leave a like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. See you guys in the next one.